It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and this is a health check on VOP TV. I am Fina. Okay, Chuku. And you know what we do on health check? We discuss different health issues and possibly provide solutions with the help of experts. When I mean experts, I mean experts in the medical field. And today we have Dr. Rebecca Mokele, who is a seasoned medical practitioner of over 14 years. She actually is a health and wellness professional for 7 years. And she also happened to be the woman behind lots of weekly online column where she actually gets to over 7,000 lawyers and professionals. And her center and her optimal goal is to make sure that we live our life daily in a good way, being healthy and being focused. That's when you're pursuing your career, you're also, being healthy and all that. And she is currently studying what we call integrative medicine at the university, somewhere in Quantum University in Hawaii. Now you know when I say that we do this with help of medical practitioners, now you know it's not just a bluff, I'm not just talking. I have proof also. And today on Health Check, we'll be looking at a serious a serious disease called cholera. We'll have cholera to go look at today. So I will actually let you know, for you to be part of today's conversation, just do the needful. Get to your YouTube. I believe you must have clicked the subscription button, but if this is the first time you're getting to see us, just click the subscribe button so that you get notification once we are live. And YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And other social media platforms like the TikTok, the Instagram, we are at VOP TV Live. And why I decided to call out or read out our social media handles is for you to be able to send us a question if you have any, and send us a contribution. Feel free to drop your comments. Believe me, before we leave the studio, we'll look at it, we'll read it out. If there's questions, the doctor will join us or help us out, doing justice to that. And for you to know that I am saying this when I say I have Dr. Mokele with me. Good day, doctor. I so much love her smile. I love her smile.
Hi.
Yes, this is
good. Everyone. Good to see you all.
Whenever I look at Dr. Rebecca, I used to tell myself that black is beautiful. You can concur. Black is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's good to have you again today, doctor.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
All right, now today we'll have to look at cholera, and what actually led to this is the fact that some Nigerians are not really, are not really being too careful with the way they live. If you get some environment and all that, you find out that some people are not really being careful, not being mindful of how they eat, or what they eat, how they live, the environment and all that. Multiple occasions, even as young children, we used to hear this phrase that says, cleanliness is next to godliness. But now, some people will tell you hardship have made us to forget what it means to be clean. But no, that's not really the thing. Why I decided to touch this today is the fact that I think 2 weeks ago there was a disease outbreak in the northern part of the country, the Sokoto state to start with. And according to the Health Commission, they were of the opinion that they are yet to know what this outbreak is all about and all that. And we now thought it wise to bring today, because most of the people were of the opinion that what could actually lead to that unknown disease that broke out in that area happened to be maybe the way the people are living, people's lifestyle, and the way the environment also is. So today wouldn't it right to talk about cholera. And from my amiable, from my wonderful viewer, every time I want to talk about something, I used to give us a quick background, what I managedly know the particular thing or topic to be. So today, I want to tell us that cholera actually is an acute epidemic infectious disease. And why I say it's an acute epidemic infectious disease is, it's acute because it does everything severe. We have severe diarrhea, we have extreme loss of fluid, we have even electrolytes, we have even severe dehydration and all that. So that's why it's acute. But that is my own lay explanation or definition of what cholera is. We'll have a doctor here who will give us detail. What I just did now is more like a news headline. So she'll help us with the news in detail. That's regards in telling us what cholera is all about.
Okay.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, so cholera, just like you said, is an acute infectious disease. Oh. The reason why they say it's acute is because you have very, very severe symptoms that come up in a very, very short time. So the person comes down with diarrhea. And of course, diarrhea leads to electrolyte loss. Diarrhea means that the person is constantly stooling over a long period of time. And when you are stooling, you lose, of course, a lot of nutrients go out of the body, but most importantly, a lot of fluid and electrolytes go out of the body, okay? And severe diarrhea is bad for an adult, but you can imagine when this thing is happening among children.
We actually have children to look at.
Are experiencing cholera, okay? So you have very, very severe diarrhea. You are losing a lot of electrolytes. Of course, this will automatically lead to weight loss. Such a person cannot eat. There's loss of appetite. There may also be vomiting, you know. So, yeah, and all these symptoms don't just happen gradually. They happen suddenly and they are intense. So it's not like maybe you are stooling 1 or 2 times. No, maybe you are stooling many times during the day. Okay. So and then you're uncomfortable, you can't eat, you can't do anything. So it's a severe acute infection. You know, severe diarrhea infection.
When we're actually given an explanation or the definition of what cholera is, you make mention of electrolytes.
Okay.
Exactly. You know, say me and my people not be say we know twish, we twish boards.
Okay. All right. So when we say electrolytes, electrolytes basically are things like minerals that are in your body. And those minerals are very, very essential for various functions of your body. They are essential in your blood. They are essential for your cells. They are essential for the normal function of your heart, even the way your heart pumps. Those electrolytes are important. So when they are lacking, that's why you see someone that is constantly stooling. That person is very, very weak. That person is frail. That person feels tired. Sometimes they feel faint. Sometimes they have a headache, you know, and they can't really move because the electrolytes are the constituents that are in the fluids in the body. The fluids are things like the blood, the lymphatic fluid. Those electrolytes are the things that are in them and that help to sustain life. When we say sustain life, we mean help to keep life. Okay? Right. So they are very, very important. The electrolytes are very, very important. Let me give you examples that you may know. Things like your sodium, which is in your salt, your potassium, your chlorine, all those are electrolytes that are necessary for the body. I know now, they don't explain now, you don't smart past me.
Okay, now one will also want to know, you know, this epidemic infectious disease. You know, the other day we discussed loss of blood, where you talk about checking your what video name?
Your PCV, your blood level.
I don't remember the name because it was not there that I understood that checking the PCV, that's the blood level, is the same thing as anemia. Now I remember. Okay, now you know. But today, one also want to ask where or the particular part of the body that this cholera actually will come from, and not just that also. Is it like a fungi disease? Is it a bacterium disease?
So cholera is a food-borne disease. When we say food-borne disease, that means you get it from anything that goes into your mouth. Okay. So what goes into our mouth is our food and our water. So of course, if you have poor hygiene with these two, when we say poor hygiene, means how you keep things clean and neat. If you are not mindful about washing your hands, washing your food, where you are fetching water, making sure that bacteria is killed in the water, you can come down with cholera. You can come down with cholera. Now, fortunately, a few years ago, there used to be a cholera vaccine. Okay, many children that were born in the 80s and the 90s, and I think the 2000s may have gotten the cholera vaccine, but then it became that it could last for 10 years and then it became outdated. But from what we're finding out, there are these breakouts in some certain parts of Africa, and they may bring it back, you know. But there used to be a cholera vaccine, and then it was assumed that cholera is outdated, it has been taken care of, because many people have been enlightened about hygiene, water, food, and the likes. So it's a foodborne disease. It comes from how you keep your food and your water clean.
So when I ingest it, when I take something that is already infected, is it that okay? That shows it to be from my intestine or my stomach?
It will disturb your stomach.
Oh.
It will disturb your digestive system. That is why, in the process, the person feels uncomfortable in their feels abdominal pain and starts stooling. That persistent and constant stooling is a sign that there is an infectious process going on.
All right, now,
Yes.
when we were talking, you also made mention of when an adult actually have this cholera, the adult actually automatically will lose strength. You know, you just be there. You just be there, redundant. You won't be able to do anything. Now, I want to ask, cholera in children, how can one, because you just said now, you made mention of some things to be the cause. And we know that children most times can't even vouch for what they put in their mouth.
Yes.
You know, so cholera in children now, one wants to ask, how can this be diagnosed? Not just for the children now, generally.
Okay, usually we will do what we call, for both children and the adults, we do what we call a stool test.
Oh, okay.
But of course, if somebody comes to you and they're having persistent stooling, and you get a history from them, maybe they ate food outside. Usually you give a broad term and you say that they have gastroenteritis and you immediately start to treat. The reason why I pointed out children.
It's too much. Break down.
Sorry. When we say gastroenteritis, gastroenteritis basically means that there's an infectious process going on in the stomach.
Oh, okay.
Now, what is causing the infectious process? Whether it's cholera, whether it's E. coli or whatever, we will now find that out from a stool test.
Oh, okay.
Now, the reason why I highlighted children is that dehydration in a child, when we say dehydration, that means loss of water in a child, is a very, very serious case, okay? And children that are less than 5, if you don't treat it rapidly, you can easily lose them.
Oh.
Yes. That is why I highlighted in children. It's bad enough in adults, but in children, it can cause their death.
And you know they cannot even talk. You will not even know what is happening.
Yes. So you need to really be observant. If a child comes, if you see that your child is stooling persistently, their lips are dry, their eyes are sunken, it's not to keep that child at home and keep managing the child. Take the child quickly to the hospital, let them set an IV line, let them start working on the child to bring the child back. You understand? Yes, to bring the child back to normal. It's not something that, because within a short time, they will lose so much fluid and they will go into what we call a shock, and you may lose that child. I
was somewhere, I think that was last week, and you know, someone was on a phone, and the person was like, "No, I have dysentery." You know, I say, I don't understand. I have dysentery. Because I was on the call, like, I have dysentery. I don't mean to interrupt, though, but you know, say with the media personality where they fly. I have dysentery. I said, "Are you sure it's dysentery?" He was saying, "Yes, it is. It's not cholera. It's not." Please, is there any difference between dysentery and cholera?
Okay, so when we say cholera, is that we've been identified the organism and said that, oh, it is this particular organism that is causing it.
Oh, okay.
Dysentery is a broad term for an upset or a stomach abdominal upset, you know, that is causing you stooling. But it's just a broad term. So many things can be swallowed up in dysentery.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So dysentery now can mean you have food poisoning.
It can be cholera.
What of the food poisoning that people used to make mention of most of the time? Say, food poisoning, you know, because it's like the
under food poisoning, we have things like salmonella, salmonella,
even
which is common. Yes, it has names. Yes, which is a common bacteria that is and that when you leave food exposed, gets into the food and somebody will come down with what we say is food poisoning. Of course, you have similar symptoms. You see them stooling, but usually you look at the number of times they stooled, the type of stool. I don't want to get that. It's a bit yucky.
Okay.
The type of stool, you know, and the consistency of the stool, what is inside the stool, and sometimes a stool, what we call a stool MCS. You know, you will go and culture that stool to see what is inside the stool, to know how to treat the person. But before you even culture the person, there are things that the doctor would already start doing to help the person come back to themselves.
All right, that's actually a good one.
Yes.
If you're just joining us at this health check on VOP TV, and we've been talking cholera with Dr. Rebecca Mokili, whom I told us actually is a seasoned medical practitioner for over 14 years. Yes, she is. And presently she's studying at Hawaii, in university in Hawaii. Yes, she's doing, I think, a quantum, let me not go and bite my tongue, so I won't go there. I won't go there use medical terms. She's studying quantum, yes. She's studying at Quantum University.
Quantum medicine, yes.
She's doing integrative medicine.
Yes.
In Quantum University in Hawaii. Yeah,
yes.
Before I go bite my tongue. I'm not a medical doctor anyway. So when we come back after this quick break, we have to look at so many other things, that has to do with cholera. We have to look at the risk factors. We'll look at, if it has any complications, we'll also touch that. We'll talk about how it can be diagnosed, both in adults and children. Then we'll also look at the preventive measures. We'll look at the treatment. We'll even look at cure if it does have any, and so many more. So don't go anywhere. But like I said earlier, you can just join this conversation on YouTube. We are Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, you have VOP TV Live. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
All right, welcome back. It's still VOP TV and you're still watching the Health Check. And like I told us before now, if you're just joining us, just know you've missed. Yeah, you've missed. But you can actually say, we can have a makeup for you, yeah. Because the topic of the day is still going on. And we're looking at cholera today, and we have Dr. Rebecca Mockley with us in the studio, whom I told us is a medical practitioner for over 14 years, yes. And she also have another project that by the end of a particular year, you and me will go there, live our life healthy and also focus on our career. And she intends to achieve that just by, reshaping the way we eat, things we consume. Living healthy actually is a priority. And she's studying integrative medicine in Quantum University in Hawaii. And before that break, I told the doctor, I said, when we come back, we'll be looking at, someone said something about us not being, or talking about the symptoms, but it was more like they did not get it.
Okay.
So we have to do it this way now so that adults will understand symptoms of cholera in adults. I get body no reach there, person feel water. Then for children too, also look at it.
Okay. All right. So let me help you because the thing about cholera is that just like in medicine we have this broad term where we say gastroenteritis, or like the person said, dysentery. But the danger about cholera is that cholera can kill in a day. Yay. Because of the amount of fluid that person loses and the fact that the person goes into shock quickly.
Okay.
So how do you identify it? If you have someone that is stealing maybe once or twice, it's nothing to be worried about. But when you're having either a child or an adult that's telling you that, oh, today I've stooled 5 times, 6 times, the frequency of stools, the increased number of stools, and the person is weak, the person is tired, it means that immediately you need to take that person to the hospital. It's not something that you manage at home. Okay. However, if you are in, so that the symptoms that I've said is not peculiar to adults. It's for both adults and children. Now, in children maybe it's a child that has a diaper on. They may not be able to communicate. You may not be that observant, but you will notice some things. One of the things is that you see that their lips are dry. You will notice that their eyes are sunken inside. You will notice you will notice that the child is weak, is limp. Okay, and sometimes when these children cry, you see them drawing in their legs because of their abdominal pain. So those are specific things that you don't keep for a long time. The thing about cholera, which I didn't say the last time, is that all the different things I mentioned, they have, like I started mentioning, salmonella, E. coli. They all have different organisms. Cholera is caused by a bacterium also that is called Vibrio cholerae. But the thing about it is that the rapidness, how quickly a person can deteriorate. Someone can be infected today, and by tomorrow, the person is gone.
Utilo.
Yes. So immediately you see that frequent number of stools, the person has gone 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Please don't keep the person at home. Take them to the hospital. However, if you are in an area where you can't take them to the hospital, there's ORS. That's oral rehydration salts. You can give the person oral rehydration salts. If you can get access to a pharmacy, get zinc, give the person zinc, okay? And then, of course, the others are the doctors.
We will get to those ones, the first aid and everything. Those ones are part of the treatment and other ones.
Yes, but I hope the person has been able to get the exact symptoms.
Yes.
The symptoms are frequent stooling.
Okay.
Frequent stooling for an adult, weakness, tiredness, but the weakness and tiredness is accompanied with frequent stooling. And the stooling can be, the person could have gone 4, 5, 6 times. By some time someone is going that many times. It may not be cholera, but suspect it and go to the hospital for treatment.
Now, the way you are actually talking about the symptoms, it's scary. Let me put it this way. Now, is this cholera, is it a communicable disease? Is it communicable?
Yes, if like, for example, if I eat a particular meal and that meal was exposed to cholera and somebody else comes to eat that particular meal, or someone that has cholera defecates in an open place, maybe near a stream, and somehow the feces gets into the stream and somebody else comes and fetches water from that same stream, that person will get it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Just like the case of hepatitis where people...
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
We'll find... let us not jump.
Yes.
Let us not move into that because...
To be precise, cholera is actually common in places where they don't have access to good sanitation.
Oh, good sanitation.
Those are the kind of places, usually poor areas, those are the places that you have outbreaks of cholera.
All right. Now, there's this study that was done in 2016, and the study came out with, I don't know how, that's why I have to bring it out, with this result or report that people who have the blood group O, actually they are more likely to experience in severity this cholera.
Wow.
Some people, sometimes people say if you have blood A, I mean malaria also for those that have A.
Yes.
This one now, I have to ask that.
Yes. Well, I've not delved deep into research on that aspect.
All right.
But coming from what I've studied about malaria, yes, there are blood groups that because of the way the blood is composed or structured, that particular person is more likely to become more susceptible to a particular illness. Okay, we're not talking malaria here, but like for AS, what happens is that the blood is designed in such a way that it doesn't allow the malaria parasite to thrive, and so an AS person is not susceptible to malaria, but an AA person doesn't have that S with them that helps to make the environment uncomfortable for the malaria parasite, and so the person is more susceptible to malaria. But for cholera, I haven't delved deep into that. But it is possible.
Fine. You were trying to tell us how the measures to take to treat cholera in case talk about the first aid. So what are those measures we need to employ?
Okay, so in treating cholera, remember I said that you are losing fluid. So you have to look for a way to get fluid in and keep it in.
All right.
That is why we have the oral rehydration salts. I mean, for those that know the composition, 1 spoon of salt to 5 spoons of sugar with a bottle of a liter of water. But even if you don't know that, there's ORS sachets everywhere that you can buy.
Baby.
Yes. Then in addition, the person should also get zinc.
Okay.
Because what happens is that loss of that constant stooling, it's removing sodium, it's removing chloride, which you can get from the ORS, it's removing potassium, which you can get from the ORS. It's also removing zinc, which helps with absorption of nutrients. So you need to put zinc into the person's system to help the digestive tract absorb nutrients once again. So zinc is very, very important. Now, the other measures which you will get when you get to the hospital is maybe being placed on IV fluids, being placed on IV antibiotics and all that to help to treat cholera. But the things that you can do, you can start with ORS, you can start with zinc.
Right now, some people actually, like you just said, some people would think maybe what we're talking about is not that serious. What are the risk factors of cholera? So that after the risk factors now, we're not going to preventive measures, so they're going to say to the talk
okay, let me, when we say risk factors, the thing about the risk factors first and foremost is, I want to be sure I'm being clear and I'm understanding the question. When we say risk factor, it means the things that can predispose people to cholera. Is that what you mean?
Something like that.
Okay. So the main thing that can predispose anyone to cholera is hygiene. And hygiene is usually compromised. When I say compromised, means it is not, it's difficult to do or becomes difficult to do, yes, that's the word, becomes hard to do when water supply is lacking. When there's no good water supply. Usually most people are able to strike a match, heat up things, but the thing that most people that affects hygiene is water, because you wash your food with water, you wash your hands with water. When you go to toilet, you wash, you understand? But many times if there's a lack of water and if there's a lack of clean water, it would affect is a major risk factor when it comes to cholera outbreaks, and it is usually prevalent in areas that are poor, in places that maybe they don't have access to good clean water, good running water. It's more predominant in such places.
All right, so now what would be the preventive measure for that someone will not have cholera?
Okay, so number one, from what I said, that means everywhere needs access to good, clean water.
All right.
Yes, and of course, we can say it's the government that should do that, but there's public-private partnerships.
Yeah.
There's a part for the government to play, there's a part for you to play. But on your own, what you can do is that you make sure that as much as possible, make personal hygiene very, very important. I mean, COVID taught us that personal hygiene is very, very important. You wash, when you go out, when you come back into your house, you wash your hands. The things that you are going to eat, you wash. If you buy something from outside, don't eat it if it is not hot. You understand? If it is cold, if it has been exposed to flies and things, you don't know that person's hygiene. You weren't there when the person was making it. But if it has been put on the fire, you are sure that it is clean. You also wash your hands before you eat. You know, don't just eat anything because you don't know what your hands have touched in the course of your day. So the preventive measures for cholera are simple, everyday things that we need to be just a little bit more conscious about.
Right, and I'm so happy because the way Dr. Rebecca actually took a time to explain in details the preventive measures. She also told us that cholera is not just small person's game. Not to say you get cholera in ordinary. It's not ordinary because according to her, she said you can have cholera today, but because of the severity of all the other things that follows, I mean the loss of nutrients, the fluid and all that, the person can die tomorrow. So now I believe you don't hear passing your ear, don't already gather all the information more than I. And here is where we draw the curtain in today's program, today's health check. And I'm so happy that we have Dr. Rebecca Mokri today in the studio, whom I told us she is a medical practitioner with over 14 years experience. And I also told us that she writes every week, a weekly online column for over 7,000 lawyers and also help professionals give their optimum daily without mortgaging their health for their career goal. And I told us that she's currently studying integrative medicine, yes, at the Quantum University in Hawaii. And it is our goal that by the end of 2025, that's by next year, at least 10,000 professionals will be able to give their best in their various fields of endeavor and still maintain optimum health. Believe me, I'm one of those persons. Yeah, I will. And I'm sure you've learned a lot today, how to run away or how to prevent cholera, what to do for you not to be a victim of cholera. And even if maybe you have cholera, the necessary measures to take before you get to the hospital. All right, until we come your way next week. Yeah, next week, Tuesday, we'll do health check every Tuesday, 2:30 to 3 p.m. on VOP TV. I'm your host, Fina Okechukwu. Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming today.
Thank you. It's been great being here. Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.